figure out how to do 3 people. We should at least have Dean on as a guest or something to do a show.
Yeah, and we're live, everyone. I did that on purpose. Yeah, welcome back to the unplanned 53rd episode of the Voices of the Voiceless podcast. And you know what? To be fair, I did say we're going. I forgot that you can't see we're going live 3, 2, 1 on your screen. So that's my bad. That's what you get for not being in the same area. Speaking of, when are you moving to Pittsburgh, where it's not 100 degrees ever, and if it is, there's still some humidity.
Oh, you're such a dick.
You should move to Pittsburgh. You should. It's been voted the most livable city in the country. I'm not kidding either. Good school districts, good sports. Carolina sports are garbage except for college hoops. Panthers.
Oh yeah, that's why. I'm still a Boston sports fan. Yeah,
that's right. And there's more. And the northern, your wife would love Pittsburgh. I guarantee it. But anyway, that's not important. What's important is wrestling. And we had an up and down week as far as wrestling goes, and much more down than up. But the ups were very up. Did I say that right? I think I nailed it.
It's kind of like popping a Viagra. The ups are very up.
Yes, and it's like it's 1 step forward, 4 steps back, but the 4 steps back are usually on Monday nights. So what are you gonna do? This week's gonna be a little bit different. We have a couple new things we're gonna try out. One, there's no run-in this week. Dean is running away somewhere. So while he's running off, we're gonna substitute the John Fisher Love Power Hour, and we're gonna figure out my love life, okay? And I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Brad's gonna have a hell of a time because the person he loves can't even get on the main card of a wrestling show with a minute roster. I know, I said it, and you're gonna have to deal with it because look, he and Apollo Crews are on the same level, buddy, and you're gonna have to deal with it for a while.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think that's a stretch, but yeah. We'll definitely get to that because I do have some feelings on that. I'm sure you already know that.
I'm sure you do. All right. Well, our tweet of the week this week is from someone who also has feelings, and I don't know who this person is. So tell us, what's our tweet of the week this week? Who is it, and why is it funny?
Our tweet of the week is at No Loud Noise, a total jobber on Twitter.
Okay, I figured.
And I had made a tweet that basically I missed the good old days of the champion actually wearing the title.
Okay.
And I'm not talking about outlier examples where you've seen Dean Ambrose sometimes do it. I'm talking about the general rule was that champions actually wore the title belt instead of just letting it swing and hang from their hand as they walk to the ring like it's a prop, which I hate. So this person responds to me, and I'm going to give you a couple of their quotes. They totally disagreed with me. And they disagreed with me because apparently the belt is too fucking heavy for these grown-ass wrestlers to carry.
Oh, my God.
Around their waist. I'm not even joking. This was an actual argument. And I quote, "How about you try walking with a 30-pound weight on your hips? If you did it, you would realize it's just not practical."
Someone forgot to clean their vagina this morning.
Yeah, it's awfully sandy.
Sounds right to me.
What does this dumbass think that wrestlers did for so many years prior to when they started this stupid shit? They wore the title belt around the waist. Are they just all a bunch of pussies now where they can't wear a title belt around their waist?
Well,
for that short walk to the ring, it's not even like they're wearing it all the time.
That 15-yard walk, and weren't the belts heavier back in the day? Because that was solid shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that guy's just a puss. I'm sorry, and you know what? If you're offended by that, I don't care.
That's right. That's what I told him. I said, they should be wearing the gold belts around their waist, but if they're not a bunch of pussies. And I said, you know what? And I'm going to go curl up and I'm going to go to sleep and I'm going to wear my fucking gold belt around my waist. And you know what? That's life. So deal with it, motherfucker.
Yeah. And you heard it here first. So whenever you're telling me, and Brad, you don't carry anything heavy really, but for me, I carry something very heavy every day, and it's a burden. But you know what? I have to do it. I live with it. You know what I mean? That was a euphemism for a penis. So
yeah, I was actually gonna make that same joke, but you just totally stole that. So I guess that's a waste.
Well, you know what? I bowled like shit tonight, so I deserve a first crack at a joke.
It's kind of like your love life. It was a total gutter ball.
But I only had one gutter ball all night. In 3 games, and I'm in the process of getting my own ball. Okay, so it formats to my very small hands. And the weight that I like, but if you've ever bowled, you would understand. Don't act like you don't know. Fucking, I was scooping heat at the bowling lanes tonight. Scooping major heat. It's horrible.
What did you bowl?
Well, normally I bowl in the 170s, 180s with a straight ball, no fingertip, no nothing, which isn't pretty good, right? It's not bad.
Yeah,
I haven't bowled, and that was like a couple years ago when I was bowling regularly. Now I haven't bowled in like a year and a half. I threw a couple 120s with a 12-pound ball, which I should have bowled a 180. But you know, the heavier balls get into the pins better. And second game or the third game, I have a broken wrist, so wrist is killing me. I had to throw a 14-pounder.
Man, and that's really got to be a hamper in your love life.
It really. Well, you know what? Things are looking up, Bradley. So we'll discuss that. I have good news, maybe.
I'm curious. How many fingers did you stick in? You know, when you were bowling, how many fingers did you put in the ball?
3.
3 fingers. Okay.
Yeah. 3-finger Larry. That's my nickname. Yeah. Just ask my ex who wants to shoot me.
You should have put that in your I was gonna say you should have put that in your POF profile.
I should have put that in my bio. My name is 3-finger Larry. Yeah. I live next to the McDonald's at the corner of Main and 3rd. Pedophile jokes, everyone. You know what? If you're a Penn State fan, go fuck yourself. Sandusky did do it, and Joe knew. Besides that.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I said it, and Pitt beat them last. All right, this is a wrestling show. We're on wrestling. And like I said, Dean is running away to go find that big gold belt, and he. Okay, so I was with him on Friday, and he wanted me to play you a song, Brad. Specifically for you, and you know what? Dean will be on the show one of these days. I think I can figure it out. So, but until then, he wanted me to play you a song in lieu to his run-in this week. Yeah, I think you might like. So give it a second. Why aren't you laughing? You don't know what this is?
Oh my god! And you know I
sure tell you how to stay on track. You got to drink, say your prayers, eat your vitamins. These are all the things that the maniacs do. Positive thoughts.
I have to get the Hulk rap in. Hold on.
Things that makes me always be good to your family and friends. They're the only ones that'll be there in the end.
All right. So since you're you were alive and you probably watched that live, tell the people what that is.
Well, I think that's the that's Dean's actually. Here's what I find funny about this whole thing. Okay. Yes. Okay. I want to be a Hulkamaniac as a song. And yes, Hulk Hogan. Blah blah. He's on it. That's great. It's a classic, by the way. I'm sure it's sold big league. But I want to say, notice how Dean has this music. Dean has this music. Now, I don't even have this, right? I don't even have this music. So, but the true Hulkamaniac brother has this music. What Dean is exposing is that he's a closet Hulkamaniac.
This is an ongoing thing, and I love every second of it. The history of this? It was in WCW when Hulk was there. I think like a year and a half in '95 or '96, before the NWO was even an idea.
Yeah.
Do you know whose wrestling theme that was?
Was it Johnny?
No.
What's his name?
You're wrong. You're wrong already.
No?
You're wrong already. I'll give you one more guess. Come on, you know this. Come on. Think of the most jobber of all jobbers in WCW in the mid '90s. He is a brother of a
Dave Sullivan. It was right.
Yes. Do you know his wrestling name? For bonus points.
His wrestling name was.
Yes.
Oh, geez.
Don't think too hard, and I mean that literally.
It wasn't. Was it Dave Sullivan?
It was Evad Sullivan.
That's right.
Evad.
That's right. Jeez. Yeah. Oh my gosh! What a blast from the past that is.
Yes, Dean wanted me to show you the "I Want to Be a Hulkamaniac" song because he thinks you wake up to that every morning. Actually,
I think he wakes up to it every morning. He's the one who had it.
No. If I know Dean, he's waking up to AJ Lee's theme. That's his favorite female wrestler, her and Mickey James, or that, or the Macho Man, cream of the crop while he gets his coffee. So it's like punny, you know. The cream always rises to the top. But wow. So yes,
I don't wake up to that theme. And in fact, there's only one theme I think you could say that I would wake up to.
This is a segue. I know it's a segue. I'm looking at the fucking itinerary.
Oh no.
Oh, shut up!
The original Goat of Goats entrance theme. Sink it in!
You're such a mark. Oh,
I know you love this team.
You're a bigger mark than me. And it hurts inside. That's what Miss Elizabeth said.
That's like sexy outfit. Okay, all right. But I wake up to that every morning, and I say my prayers to the invisible Sky Daddy, and I take my vitamins, and you know, that's pretty much what I do.
You know, saying your prayers isn't allowed for WWE TV because it's not PC. So yeah, he can't even say that now.
Hey, that's a good point. Yeah,
I'm being serious too. Okay, so we've had some fun. If you guys have any terrible wrestlers themes that you want to send us our way, tweet at us. I think it'd be a little fun game we could have every week. I'll ask Dean as always. But this back and forth is doing really well. I think he has the edge right now. Evad Sullivan's theme, "I Want to Be a Hulkamaniac." I don't know how you top that, but I hope you do, because we could have some fun with it for sure. A lot of fun with it.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Well, talk about some fun, and I'm meaning that seriously about a wrestling show. Backlash, man. Backlash, fucking, you know what? Well, we're going to get into it, but from top to bottom, aside from, I'm looking down the list here. I think like one segment, maybe two. It was a hell of a show. You know what? I'll let you start off because I want to talk about my favorite match after the pre-show. Baron over Apollo.
Yeah, actually, of course, was not very happy at all. Baron was on the pre-show. You know, it's like, so for me, you've got a roster that's pretty thin, especially in the mid-card area on SmackDown, right? So, Rio and Cena's part-time. There's no excuse why Baron Corbin isn't on the main card. Now you need a pre-show match. I get it. Put one of these other fucking jobbers on the pre-show. I don't give a fuck.
See, honestly,
put Baron Corbin where he belongs on the main card. And by the way, belongs in the main card as well. It's not just Corbin. Of course, I'm a huge Corbin mark, but they both belong in the main card. It's inexcusable.
Agreed. Now, so I would have put the Usos Hype Bros for the pre-show. I would have.
Oh, I think you're absolutely right, especially considering the Usos were already going to wrestle a second match. I think you're absolutely right there. That was the right move. But, you know, Corbin actually got some cheers over Apollo here.
He did. But
yeah.
and that wasn't a marked crowd, as I like to call it. It was just Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah.
It wasn't a Philly, a New York, a Pittsburgh. Who else? Like an Aftermania.
Yeah.
Like no, it was a normal. It's Virginia. Like fucking. So
and yeah,
okay.
Right, absolutely. Man, he is such a superstar. He has superstar written all over him, and I just hope they do something with that. So anyway, yeah, he beat Apollo Crews, and I was actually surprised because I expected Apollo Crews to win.
Me too.
The pre-show is usually very similar to house shows, whereas the baby faces always go over usually. But Corbin won. I was very pleased with that, even though I felt it should have been on the main card.
I heard it was an awesome match too. I didn't actually get to watch the pre-show.
It was a good match. It was a good pre-show match, I thought.
Yeah.
And the crowd was really into his deep six, and they were really into his finisher end of days when he pinned Apollo. So
see, now I think they need to have another match, like no DQ or like a hardcore match, something like that. Really let them, or even like a best 2 out of 3. Let them really get into what they can do. I don't think it's going to happen, but I see that's the route that I would go in. So I think we're going to see a lot from them. I have high hopes for both of them soon, and we'll talk about why Apollo actually, not Apollo, but Baron Corbin could be set up for something new and fresh, and to that in a little bit. But first, Becky Balboa, baby! I told all you idiots, all of you, even you, I told all of you that she's the future of SmackDown Live, and motherfucker, I was right!
Suck it, Marks!
Yeah, you stupid idiots, I told all of you, she is the top of SmackDown Live's women's division, and it's about damn Becky Lynch is your women's champion on Tuesday nights. Drink it in.
Yeah, this was a good match. This was a good match for the women. It was a good match for the men. It was a good match in general. But when you compare the women's divisions, I think they're just doing so much better than Raw. And Raw has what you would consider the star power, so it's a very interesting dynamic. But man, this was a good women's match. It's like, Natalia's Natalia. Naomi's got a really cool entrance, and she's athletic. And Alexa Bliss, I think, is good on the mic and superstar. Yep. Carmella's really interesting. I think she's got potential as a heel, and Nikki Bella, of course, is already a star in the women's division. So, I mean, this was really good, and this was the big win for Becky. This was the big career win for Becky that I think is really going to launch her career to the superstar level in the women's division. So congratulations to her. She deserves it.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. How about, and what I took away from that, aside from, I love the post-match interviews that they do in the ring. I think that's going back to the roots of wrestling, and it's good. You want to get the reactions as soon as something big happens, right when it's over. I like that a lot. But not only that, there was a spot in the match where, I'm trying to remember, Natalya had Alexa going for a power bomb, right? And Naomi jumped to the top rope and did, what was it, a hurricane or a bulldog over top of Alexa onto the floor? Yeah. That was incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Raw women weren't able to follow this. I mean, and we even saw, as we'll talk, we even saw on Raw, they tried to, copy it, but it didn't work.
Nope. Not even a little. But hell, SmackDown's killing it, man. And like I said, we're going to keep talking about that. We kind of already mentioned the Usos over the Hype Bros. I kind of looked away at that match. I thought it was boring. I think the Usos boring. I like the fact that they gave them a heel run. Good for them. I just don't like them. I don't like the way they wrestle. I think they're boring. Their dad's a fucking incensed, stupid idiot, to keep with the theme, when he said that they're the most talented, gifted, in I get you're his dad, you're their dad, but don't be an idiot, all right? So that was out of the way. I'm glad that should have been in the pre-show. I disagree with it being on the main card, but whatever. What's done is done. Usos won, and it was so obvious.
Yeah, that was an obvious one, and the match was nothing. It was all right. It was just there.
Yeah, it was okay. It didn't excite me or get me out of my seat. I stayed firmly in my chair during that match.
Here's the thing. I mean, that the Mojo Rawley gimmick is so bad And he's actually, he's a high energy guy. He's got a college athletic background, football and
Sure.
guy. He is legitimately, if you ever see him in person, he's a very big guy. This retarded gimmick, I guess, is the best way to put it. It's just like, it's not really going to work. So
yeah, I don't know either. I don't understand. I just don't understand where they're going to go with it. I mean, I hope they go somewhere with it, but I have no idea. And now to talk about a feud that is going places and two characters that are hitting home run after home run. The Miz and Ziggler. Miz won with Maurice's distraction, the mace in the eyes. And Miz got the pin. What a hell of a match, though. Those two, they're on fire. They're set for a rematch soon. I think at No Mercy probably. So they're killing it right now. Miz is on fire. Dolph's finding himself still. All it took was a brand split to do it.
Yeah, I think this is leading to a Dolph heel turn. I think he's going to continue to lose, and it's kind of like the de-evolution of Dolph, and he's going to reach a breaking point, turn heel, and he'll change up his character. But, The Miz, for me, is just absolutely one of the big MVPs in the company right now.
Easy.
He is killing it, and I saw him live again over this past weekend, and just incredible. I mean, he works the crowd. They love to boo him. Just like nobody else. I mean, he's a great heel. So, yep, huge Miz fan. I feel he's totally in the zone right now, doing his best work ever.
Yeah, and I think in the zone's the best way to put it. And speaking of someone that should be in the zone, or should have been in the zone since day one, rather, that's Bray Wyatt. So we saw earlier this week there was a report that Randy wasn't cleared because fuckboy Brock Lesnar decided to shoot on Orton unintentionally, my fucking ass, and concussed him. I don't think it's very severe, but because he was able to do a spot later that night.
It's like the whole thing for me here. The whole problem I have with this. Okay, first of all, the company is so hypocritical, and it's like, sure, okay, we don't want you to bleed, but we're going to have you do a hard way bleeding. I mean, that was planned, right? Now, what wasn't planned probably was Brock Lesnar is supposed to maybe bust him open the hard way, but not fucking beat the shit out of him, give him a concussion, have him laying in a pool of blood. I mean, that was overkill.
Easy.
And you talk about taking a concussion policy seriously. Well, part of that would be, I don't know, fucking preventing them and not telling him to bust his head open with elbows.
Idiots.
It makes no sense, man. I mean, it's just so stupid. So hypocritical. It is what it is. But yeah, it had Randy out of action, and so he's been out. He's been off live events. Kane faced Bray Wyatt on the live show I was at before Backlash. So I figured that was what was going to happen. So
yeah,
and it did.
I just don't get. You know what? I'm glad Kane didn't win outright. They at least had him get RKO'd first, so that's fine. I can live with it. But like, for fuck's sake, use Bray or get rid of him at this point. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, I mean, you almost have to. He's becoming like the Dolph, in that he's losing so much that you just can't. You're getting to the point where you can't take him seriously, and it's like, okay, you're going to have to just kill the character completely. I mean, really, he lost to Kane. Do you possibly believe he's going to beat Randy Orton now?
No, of course not.
No, yeah. So,
of course not.
I don't get it. I mean, there are certain characters they say that. I understand there are certain characters that don't need to win every match, or that don't necessarily need titles to be over and things like that. You look at some of the guys from yesteryear, people like Jake the Snake Roberts, for example, although you would have loved to see it. It's like, they really didn't need it with their character.
Yeah.
He also didn't lose every fucking match like Bray Wyatt either. And that's where they're missing here. He's got to win some matches.
For sure. Well,
because nobody takes him seriously. It's my whole thing is I'm the eater of the worlds, and I'm going to, tie you down and have my way with you and blah, blah, blah. But he says the same thing every time, and it's like it never happens. So then how can you take it seriously?
You can't, and I think that's the point. I don't know. Well, and let's move on to the next match, okay? Heath Slater and Rhino beat the Usos. Now talk about the picture perfect way to book a babyface. You'd rather push Heath Slater and have him win. And I love Heath. I think he's knocking out of the park. You have Heath Slater win the tag titles and Rhino, who will leave in 3 months probably, but you don't push Bray Wyatt. I don't know. That's me being a skeptic, okay? But all kidding aside, good for Slater. And he's getting a chance, but there has to be some priority somewhere, okay? Maybe I'm just that naive wrestling mark that wants to book the shows myself from my armchair.
Happy with it. I was glad to see Slater and Rhino win, primarily just because, I mean, first of all, Slater is definitely over.
Easy. He's more over than Wyatt. When was that ever a possibility?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm glad to see him on SmackDown because I truly feel that's the best chance for him in having a good career. So I was happy about that. And, you know, it allows, like, American Alpha can come back and they could feud with the Usos and kind of gives them some time before they jump right into the title picture, which I think long-term will benefit them. So, yeah, that was fine. That was fine. And I think Rhino, I mean, frankly, Rhino's done a good job since his return. I mean, I've never been really excited about the ECW guys returning, but I think Rhino's done a good job.
He has. I can't take anything away from him. Last but not least, AJ beats Dean in a shocker. I didn't see that happening. Of course, he used a low blow to get his way, but they tore the house down like a lot of people suspected they would, me included. They did very, very well. AJ finally has gold, and he might be the best wrestler they have right now in the entire company. He's kicking major ass.
Yeah, I would have to say he is right now, that he is overall the best wrestler in the world, actually, I would say.
Easy.
He and Dean had an excellent match. I really did. I mean, they allowed them to go like 25 minutes.
And where were the flippity-doos, as you say it?
Yeah, I mean, I thought they just had a great match. This wasn't about like a spot fest. This was about just two guys fighting for the title and being unwilling to lose.
I can't disagree. And Backlash overall, I mean, I thought it was a great show. I have no problem with it. That's really all I have to say. I mean, there were a few shining stars there. No pun intended.
Ugh. Yeah, talk about a way to kill a segment. Shining stars.
Well, we're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah.
So on the Monday Night Raw, the beginning segment was okay. I don't know. Raw just is not. It started off hot, and I was there for it. I was there for the Finn debut, the Finn win, and the Sasha win. It's been a downhill from there. Truly.
It's like it's downhill, and it's 90 miles an hour, and it's picking up speed every foot. I mean, it's just it's rapidly downhill. It's just basically almost unwatchable for 3 hours at this point.
I don't know what to do at this point. I really, really don't. I hope it works, but I have no faith. Maybe I'm just an asshole, but I have no faith at all. So yeah, there really isn't much good to talk about. There's one good out of all of this. So Cesaro and Sheamus, match number 5. I fast forwarded again. I don't fucking care. I don't care.
I don't care either. It's like totally boring to me. So yeah, I agree.
And we knew it was going to happen. Cesaro would win in 7, and he's on that pace. And maybe he loses match 7 by DQ or something, and then goes to SmackDown. I don't know, but it's boring as fuck. It just is. And I'm a Cesaro fan, but he's exposed more than ever right now.
Absolutely.
And I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I don't know how they fix it. Heel turn wouldn't do it. The best thing he had going for him was when he was with TJ, and then Kid got hurt, and that was it. It was over. I don't know what you do from here. And Sheamus isn't helping the situation much.
Are you kidding? That's like, I mean, that's like doubling the problem you already had. I mean,
basically, like, yeah, you're right. I don't know what to do. The New Day. I understood what they were doing, and just to put more heat on the club, and it kind of made sense. They had a couple good lines that I think they were funny, but they didn't do anything different. I think they're running out of ideas. It has been over a year, so I can see how. I'm not gonna take blame from them, But what do you do when you are so hot for so long, and you have no choice but to do the same thing every week? Have much options.
Yeah, they have to change things up a bit. I thought this segment was terrible. I thought it was one of their worst ever. I absolutely hated it. I thought it was a miss. It was just as bad as the. Yeah, I hated it. So they've got to change something up because they're starting to fade. I mean, they're just too over the top, wacky, and nonsensical pop culture references and long promos. They're just boring, and I mean, this is not going to bode well for them if they can't fix this. So I hated it.
If they ever fix it. Sigh. I sighed a lot during Raw. I'm sighing right now. Jinder Mahal. Okay, he's here for peace. Great. He beat Swagger. Great. All right.
This was so. I mean, it's like, look, I get the idea that you want to do something with a veteran you've just re-signed. How about you should have done that weeks ago when you actually re-signed the fucker?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, it's so illogical that all of a sudden after you job him out every week on Raw or Superstars, all of a sudden he comes out and now he's here in peace and he's wearing a, little thing on his head, and it's like, I'm here in peace. And what does that mean? What does that mean? I come in peace. What does it mean?
Doesn't mean shit.
This is so stupid. I mean, if you're trying to go with the old, I'm the Muslim here in peace gimmick, then just fucking go with it. Otherwise, come up with something that's actually good.
Or just don't come up with anything at all.
Yeah, and just job them out every week.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, okay, we're going to have him squash Jack Swagger, and then Swagger's going to show up on SmackDown like he matters. Okay, it's just like, whatever.
Yeah, really, whatever. There were a couple segments that weren't on our list. Nia and Alicia Fox I thought was pretty cool. I like you showing Nia's dominance. It's funny, Nia's been on consecutively, but where's Braun Strowman at? He hasn't been on for 2 weeks. Where'd he go?
Well, Braun Strowman got exposed in that match with Sin Cara.
Yeah.
Hopefully he went back to powerlifting or whatever he does.
Yeah. Well, he'll be on next week, I'm sure.
He's terrible.
And then the Sami Zayn, Jericho,
especially with Vince returning from surgery, he'll need something to, put him in a better mood.
You're right.
Braun all oiled up should do that.
Oh boy, I hope not. I really do. So what about Zayn and Jericho? I thought their segment was brilliant. I liked them both, and Jericho's going to put over Sammy. I disagree with you. Sammy's going to win that feud. It'll be short term, but I think he'll win and he'll get some momentum. Maybe get a title shot soon.
Whatever. Who cares? No, Chris has been just so phenomenal. Chris Jericho.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Some of his best work ever. And it's just, he's so incredible. Kudos to him. Hats off to him for the work he's doing right now.
And where do you think Sammy's going to go from here?
Probably back to driving a taxi.
Oh, stop it.
I mean, someone's got to do it.
Why? I don't know why you can't take him seriously. I don't understand.
He's got to stay. There's no gimmick there. He's just a plain-looking guy who knows how to have a good fake fight. I mean, come up with a little more depth to his character.
Well, he had a character.
That's what I'm saying.
I think that they should go back to that.
Come up with a little more depth. That's all I'm saying. And he's a natural white meat baby face, and there's things they can do with him for sure. But just give a little depth to his character. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Well, we'll get into how we could book him at another time. Epico versus Enzo. They're actually pushing the Shining Stars as heels. They make me want to mute the TV. I don't like them. Maybe that's the point. I hate it. I think they're boring as shit. I don't get it. They're selling their Caribbean timeshare. I don't give a fuck.
This is so bad, and it's like they are making gimmicks and they're making segments that aren't relatable to adults, and that adults who are watching are not going to find interesting. I mean, could you imagine a casual wrestling fan checking in on Raw to see what it's like these days, and they flip it on and see the Shining Stars trying to sell a timeshare in the ring?
Yeah, really.
They're going to be like, what the fuck is this? Okay, back to football.
The ratings sounded that way too.
And then you have Epico beat Enzo.
Like for the second week in a row, mind you.
Yeah, so Enzo is one of the most over guys in the roster, and he's one of the best talkers in the roster. And you've jobbed him out 2 weeks in a row, and they have no direction as a team. It's just incredible to me.
They don't. I hope they go to SmackDown. Maybe they can actually find something. Then now the one bright spot of Raw. Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns in the main event. If Roman was going to beat Kevin, then it would have been a triple threat at Clash of Champions. If not, then he's not. And before that, the precursor was that Seth Rollins couldn't interfere. There will be consequences, and they were very vague when they said consequences 4 different times. What do you know? We had it. It was actually a very good match. I was very happy with it. Roman really showed me a lot. Again, and he's improving every day. Seth came out.
Look, if you're... I think Roman is a good in-ring worker. When it comes to fake fighting, Roman is good at that.
Yeah.
He's not top level, but he is actually good at it and can have very good matches, and I don't think you can deny that.
I'm not. I'm saying yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm not a big Roman Reigns fan, as you know, at all. And I think there are still plenty of things he doesn't do well, and I don't think he's top guy material right now. I don't think he carries himself like that. I don't think he has that instinct, and I don't think they're booking him like that. But there's something he does well, and he has good in-ring fake fights. So I don't, I have to be honest and call it like I see it. So there you go.
What did you think? And before we go into SmackDown and actually enjoy talking about it, what did you think of Seth? I think he's evolving as more of as a tweener. Because he's not a heel anymore. He's not. I think I don't even know what he is. He's like a hybrid, but like we haven't seen this hybrid before because he's not really stretching to reach that audience. And to make
I think this is terrible.
I liked it. I liked it.
I hate it.
Why? It's passionate, pissed off Seth Rollins. Why is that not good to you?
Because either shit or get off the pot here. I mean, is he a babyface or is he not? You act like he's going to turn babyface, but then he turns around and cuts a promo where he's obnoxious to Mick Foley. So is he a heel or is he a babyface? I mean, it varies by the segment on the same goddamn show. So it's like, just make up your mind. I mean, the guy could be a babyface. If he could stop sending dick pics, he could actually be a natural babyface. And you know what? They could go with that. But it's like they don't know what to do. This writing team is fucking terrible.
Now, do we know who?
Yeah, do we? Yeah, exactly.
No, serious. Do we? Does anybody know who writes Raw, who writes SmackDown at all?
Yeah, I have heard that that Ryan Ward could be on SmackDown still.
You know what?
I don't know.
If it is, he's a creep. But he's a good wrestling writer.
Yeah, so I don't know that 100%, but I did hear that. So, it's a huge difference between the two shows, and Raw it's written like a terrible show. I think is just the bottom line.
Yeah, well, Raw was not good again, so let's hope it changes. Onto a good show in SmackDown. What Raw tries to do with an opening with Seg 1. And they're having an in-ring promo, they should watch SmackDown and how they do it. Because, wow, did that talk about what happened at Backlash, B, introduce what is going to happen, and C, do it in an effective manner with an authority figure and with the 3 people that matter. It was very simple but well done. And Cena's return was great. Him and Ambrose went at it. Cena's attitude was fucking amazing. Styles was being an obnoxious prick, which is what he's supposed to be. And Dean was Dean, pissed off, and he wanted to kick some ass. And it made sense.
Yeah, Dean has had an edge lately, and we'll see if they go with the full heel turn or not, but he's had an edge. And yeah. I'll tell you what, this was a good segment. I don't think they should have gone back to the AJ and Cena so I was glad to see if they were going to do that. It's a triple threat. It's not a one-on-one, so that was fine. But these 3, they had some chemistry, and I really liked how they were kind of laying down the for their match coming up on pay-per-view. I think it's going to be a great match.
Yeah, but why doesn't Raw take that formula of accomplish something, react to what already happened, address it for the future, and involve the relevant people? Why does everything have to be so complicated on Monday nights? Is it just because they want to make it complicated? Do they not know it's complicated? Because I come out of SmackDown saying, okay, boom, here we go. This is what we're happening. This is what's happening. Raw, it's like fucking up or down, left, right, sideways, diagonal. It's as if someone writing Raw has ADHD. Now, I'm not making fun of that because I have it sometimes as well. So I understand how it is. They're everywhere. They're scatterbrained, and they can't focus on one little thing. And they change everything week after week, segment after segment. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, you're right about that.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Maybe
it's the tale of two writing teams.
Seriously. Now, SmackDown has an edge because they don't have to go up against Monday Night Football, which is going to kill in the ratings every week. It's a fact. And they can't get away from that.
Yeah, SmackDown was just a pubic hair under Raw's rating. And I really do think as SmackDown continues to evolve and as we see... I mean, let's face it, Monday Night Football was 2 blowout games that a lot of teams don't care about. But as they start having...
about?
Well, that's true. Now, when they start having some bigger games, like Pittsburgh and Baltimore, division rival, or New England and Denver, or Indy, or whoever, name your rivals.
They had Pittsburgh that night. I didn't give a fuck about Raw.
And who did Pittsburgh face?
The Redskins. They're okay.
The Redskins. Nobody cares about the Redskins. Okay, and the Pittsburgh Steelers blew them out. Okay, the other one, the Rams of Los Angeles, who are just as terrible when they're in St. Louis or any other goddamn city, and they lost to the fucking 49ers, who were all sitting down during the national anthem. Okay, and that was a blowout, and nobody cares about that.
You're right.
So what I'm saying is, when they actually have some real matchups, in all seriousness, when they have some real matchups, the ratings of Raw is actually going to go down even more. They're not quite at their bare bones minimum of hardcore fans that will continue watching no matter what. They're close, but they're not quite there, and so their ratings will go down. And I think SmackDown will go up a hair, and I think SmackDown will eventually win some ratings wars with them. So
I think they will too. And now, does that mean that they're going to take away their top writer and send him to OVW like Paul Heyman? Because that was just Vince being a jealous motherfucker. He didn't want to lose to Paul Heyman because to Vince, Paul Heyman is so below him that he thinks he should be shining his shoes, not beating him in the ratings on a weekly basis. That could happen again. Or you'll have SmackDown lose a top guy to Raw, or they'll book something to where they'll bury SmackDown on the ground because Vince hates losing. And Steph power trip as well. She doesn't like to lose either. I don't think Hunter gives a shit. I think he's all about NXT, and good for him. He can continue his not developmental brand there.
He's all about manipulating the hardcore fans to put himself over and stroke his own ego. That's what he's about. Good job there, Paul.
Could you see SmackDown losing like a roster member, a writing team official, or anything like that because they're winning in the ratings? I can see it happening again. It'll be 2004 all over again, right? 2005.
Mm-hmm. I could see them losing a writing team member or a breakout member of the roster, which I would absolutely hate.
Yeah.
Because I think any SmackDown star that breaks out that gets transferred to Raw is just going to fade back into nothingness.
I agree, because if Raw was 2 hours, you bet your bottom dollar that it will be better, because then they have less time to do more, and it'll work out that way. It just, the 3 hours is fucking terrible. I hate it so much. Nothing you can do. So now they're throwing the
cruiserweights into the mix as well now next week.
I know. Yeah, we'll talk about who won that later on tonight, and I don't know where they're going to go. I don't know, where do you put the cruiserweights in? Let's be serious. Are they really going to push cruiserweights? They'll push them for 2 weeks and forget the fuck about them. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the real deal about cruiserweights. I'm a big fan of it, but
me
there's
too.
no casual fan. There's no real casual fan that's going to be drawn into watching the product again because of cruiserweights. So really, it's appeasing the current audience, the hardcore audience, which is fine, and I'm going to enjoy it, but
yeah,
it's just kind of like they're just throwing in so much with the women and the cruiserweights and, the tag team and the men's singles. And I just think it's going to be very interesting because Vince has never committed to him. And I think if he goes all out, they could do some great stuff. But by the way, I do hate that title belt, the purple title. I think that's stupid. But look, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I mean, they could definitely do something with it, but only time will tell if they do. I mean, Vince never has. So
nope. No. So in the back, AJ Styles was told to go find a tag partner against against Cena and Ambrose tonight. He goes and he finds Apollo Crews, or no, I'm sorry, he goes and finds Baron Corbin.
Yeah, and I'm going to play that clip.
Go for it.
No, I'm not going to play that clip. But what I'm going to actually do. Well, I thought I was going to, but then it's like, I guess not. But what I actually did want to. No, but what I wanted to ask you, though, is, and since we don't have a segment per se for this, did you see Talking Smack?
I didn't.
Where Baron Corbin. Okay. You did not see that. Okay, so Baron Corbin was on Talking Smack, and I just wanted to play a clip of Baron Corbin on Talking Smack. And of course, it's got Daniel Bryan and Renee Young. I'm going to look for the clip right now because I'm sure a lot of people have not seen it yet.
No. Was it?
And I'm seeing a lot of Triple H videos.
Was it putting over Baron Corbin?
This was just pretty much a chance to kind of expand his character, and I'll let him take it from here. Here we are.
You have the clip?
Do you think that's one of the reasons why you prefer being by yourself? Is because you're more comfortable that way?
Yeah, you get it done. I don't have someone else costing me, a fight, a match, a game. I don't have somebody that is going to fall short again. I won 3 Golden Glove championships, fighting all over the country. Naga, jiu-jitsu.
Why do you keep, if you're so confident in yourself, why do you keep attacking people backstage and like Apollo Crews before the match today?
Today was my birthday, and
happy birthday! Congratulations!
I felt like giving myself a birthday present, and that was at Apollo's expense.
Do you have any other big birthday plans?
Big birthday plans in Philadelphia. Are you throwing a party with the fans?
Gonna have a cheesesteak?
No, there's no chance at that.
And they pressed him about the AJ Styles stuff, which they unfortunately did not put onto Twitter. But basically, Daniel Bryan was pressing him about, well, why didn't you beat Dean Ambrose? He's like, did you watch the match? I did beat him. He said, it's not my fault that a 5'7" guy decided to kick me. He was talking about AJ Styles when he interfered. It was great. You'll have to watch it. So, yeah. So I thought that was it was very interesting because, in spite of how they're kind of using him with some of his match stuff, they are continuing to push him in this very kind of somewhat subtle way. And they had him cross paths with AJ Styles, the champion, and AJ wanted him to be the partner, and he said, I don't want to be your partner. I want to be your opponent.
Yeah.
And they,
for him.
Yeah. And they also gave him the favorable height angle.
Of course.
He towered over AJ.
Just to appease your hard-on for him.
It was great, because AJ is short. And it was great.
Were you half chub or full chub?
3/4.
Okay, good. All right, just making sure.
Yeah.
Making sure. All right. Jack Swagger. So we saw him lose to, Jobber Mahal on Raw. So the next night, Jack Flash. I like the Rolling Stone.
Oh my God.
You know what? No. Don't put your analyst Mark goggles on. Put your open-minded goggles on for just a second. Jack Swagger tries, okay? He's been given a platform, and he fucking tries his hardest. Give him some credit where it's due. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It truly wasn't.
Yeah,
I thought it was
worse.
okay.
No, it was worse than I thought it was going to be.
He was given. He was.
It was
given
one of
a-
the worst promo. No. It was one of the worst promos of the year. One of the worst in WWE in this entire year. It
Then
probably.
Then don't give him
I
a
mean-
fucking script. Then Like,
Well, if he's that bad with the script, I don't know if he'd be. I mean, he could be even worse with that one. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he's jumping Jack Flash, and he's got a hot wife. Woo! I mean, this was so goddamn bad. It was just awkward to watch. It was just terrible. It didn't get over. It was embarrassing. And on the other hand, it was like, Corbin beat up Apollo again, which was fun to see. And of course, he just got out of the ring when Swagger came. Of course, Corbin towered over him too.
yeah, of course he did.
Of course he did.
Of course he did. So
And
we're gonna have
this-
Corbin and Swagger soon, probably next week.
Swagger. Jack
Yeah.
Swagger.
You can't help a list. Be nice.
What? No, it's fine. He's going to come in, and Corbin's going to beat him strong style and squash him and send him back to Raw, hopefully.
Oh, well, all right. The women. So Lynch came out. She was in commentary.
Before we talk about the women, and you get excited because it's a Becky Lynch segment,
Fuck yeah.
I just want to say, people have asked, what do I like about Baron Corbin? Well, I'm going to give you one thing that I think is so important that I really enjoy about his work, right? Because I think he works a good, classic big man style, right?
Yeah.
But there's one thing in particular he does really well that is a lost art in today's wrestling that I really enjoy.
I'm waiting.
And that is the way he delivers a punch.
Oh yeah, I saw your tweet about
Watch
that.
how he throws a punch. It's one of the best. It's a believable punch. It's one of the best. And when you see him throw that punch, you obviously think he could hurt you. It's something that a lot of people can learn because punching in wrestling has become a lost art.
Well, Dean Ambrose can't throw a punch to save his life. That's
I
always
know,
been a big
I know.
critique of him. Yeah.
Yeah. I think definitely a lot of people could learn by that. So I just wanted to point that out. Watch the next time you see Baron Corbin in a match, watch the way he punches. Watch the intensity he brings with those strikes.
If you were given $10,000, would you let Baron Corbin punch you in the face?
For 10,000? I don't know.
20,
I don't know.
30, 40, 50, 60.
Yeah, I would definitely consider it.
Would you
For
let
that
him
much,
punch
yeah.
you in? Would you let him punch you in the dick?
No.
Okay. Don't worry. It wouldn't be very rough if you get what I mean.
Oh.
Speaking of,
Well, he certainly couldn't miss the target.
yeah. Speaking of some rough people, the women, and their 5-person elimination style battle royal. No, it wasn't. What the hell was that? Like a 5-pack? What do you call it? It was a fatal 5-way. Yeah, I wish I was in that match. You kidding me? So a
Yeah,
fatal
right in the middle
5-way.
of all of them.
I know, fatal 5-way with fucking Natty, Naomi, the whole crew. Okay, minus Eva Marie because she's still suspended, and Becky Lynch. Becky looking great as always on the side there at commentary, and you have the same 5 women just work a standard fatal 5-way match. Alexa Bliss gets the win after she super kicks who? Was it Nikki and threw her out to the side and got the pin, and she's now the #1 contender. I'm making an early prediction, Bradley. I'm going to say Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch steal the show at No Mercy.
I think it'll be a good match. I think Becky Lynch wins in a botch.
Not funny. See? Nope. It didn't get me.
Okay, look. I actually like this because title off Becky yet. But it's a good way to introduce, it's a new character, kind of put her in the spotlight, and she does have some potential, as we both agree. So I think this actually will be good for Alexa Bliss. So I like the move. Actually, I was surprised by it, so I'm all for it.
So was I. I think they're going to let Carmella and Nikki have their own thing, and then Naomi and Natty. Can we just say how bad Natalia's gotten? Because I used to really like Natty. I thought she was one of like the true, one of the true women's wrestlers that was during the Diva era and was just like stymied by fucking Vince and Kevin Dunn and the rest of their band of douchebags running around with pillow fights and bikini matches. I like what happened to Natalia. Honestly, the way I want to punch my own face when I hear her yell in the ring. I swear to God, it is like nails on a chalkboard. I can't think of any funny metaphors right now, but
she's got that X-Pac heat.
Oh, it's so bad, and she's a good wrestler too. But when she, you know what? Can I? Maybe I can find a.
Well, we watched her have a good match with Charlotte live when she was a babyface.
Yes, but when hold on, maybe someone.
And that was now. Granted, that was months ago, right? That was a few months ago.
It was. But when Natalia yells, Natalia screaming. Hold on, maybe that. I'm trying to find it. I don't think I'm going to. No one is crazy enough to make that a clip. But like, holy shit! I hate it. It just makes me hate her as a person. that sounds so rude. It's just so bad. I just don't like it anymore. I hate it. It makes me. I don't like it. When she yells, I want to cry. But I guess moral of the story, good for Alexa. I'm waiting for you to talk about the next thing. I was waiting for you to talk about the next thing. I was segueing into you. I was trying.
Yeah, Cena and Ambrose versus Styles and Miz. This was funny because they had Mr. Ellsworth.
Yeah, why? What was he doing there?
On a Strowman squash match era.
Ugh.
And he came out. He was going to be AJ's partner, and the Miz attacked him, which was great. And then the Miz says, "I think I'll be the partner because I belong in the main event."
He does. He's not lying.
The Miz, yeah. No, I mean, the Miz has been great. He's absolutely one of the few top pieces of SmackDown every week. Period. End of story. Don't even try and debate me.
I'm not.
And yeah, I mean, and so this was a good match. And Miz ate the pin. I wasn't overly thrilled with it. They couldn't, because maybe you don't put him in the match then. But it's like you don't want to have Styles or Ambrose or Cena lose because they're all fighting in the main event. So it was nice to see Miz in the main event again. And I thought they had a good match. And afterwards, old Dino, after him and Cena won, Dean put Cena the old dirty deeds and cracked his face on the mat, which was great. And it's so funny because Dean got a lot of boos, right? And Cena got a lot of babyface cheers. It's almost like Dean attacking and working with Cena is making Cena the actual natural babyface that Vince always wanted him to be. Like he's finally got a heel that can make that happen. So it's a very interesting dynamic. So I'm interested to see if they're going to go full force with the Ambrose heel turn. I think he'd be phenomenal in that role.
Well, yeah, he's going to be good at whatever he does. So I don't think that's up for debate. So, but yeah, another good SmackDown. Kicked Raw's ass again. That's like 3 weeks in a row now. And they're not learning from their mistakes. SmackDown just has it going right now.
Yeah, I thought SmackDown again was very good show overall.
Absolutely, it was from top to bottom. Even the Heath Slater contract signing was kind of neat. And did you notice that the Ascension doesn't wear that stupid like 80s wrestling wannabe tag team bullshit anymore? They're back to what it used to look like. There was a really bad botch in the middle of the match, but so what? At least they're back to the original Ascension, which is what they became popular by. You know what I mean?
And Connor is such a big dude.
He is.
I can't in person. I mean, the guy he's got to be around, 6'4", 6'3", 6'4", easy, and then a legit like 300 pounds close to it. I mean, he's a massive guy in person.
And he can move around for a bigger guy, So
yeah,
I'm happy about that. I really am. Okay, so on to some news and notes. Oh boy. So yeah, I mean it's kind of like the elephant in the room with CM Punk in his UFC debut. did not go as planned. And I kind of said to my buddies while I was watching the fight, and I said, TKO first minute. And they're like, yeah, probably. It was a submission in the first round, a rear naked choke on bottom while he was on top. Took the back of Punk. It was no fucking way that he didn't even get a punch in. It looked like he was a deer caught in the headlights, and I feel bad for him because it seemed to me like he actually gave a shit about what he was doing and was passionate. So to that, I respect him. And you know what? He got a love from his WWE cohorts as well. A lot of people were praising him after the fight.
Look in his eyes. What do you see? Well, you see nothing because his eyes are shut after getting him punched in. Look, this was, to me, embarrassing. And, I have respect for him for following his dreams and for doing it. Now, I don't really know that sets a follow your dreams message necessarily just because he used his WWE celebrity status to get a deal anyway. Nobody else with no background and experience would have gotten that.
Nope.
But so, it's not really a big follow your dreams type of message for me that's realistic. But, kudos. I was pulling for him. I was hoping he was going to win. But it's unfortunate because I think he was conned. I think his entire team that trained him knew he wasn't in any shape to be competitive in a fight, and I think they just took his money and had no problem setting him up to fail. I think that's really sad. And when the president of UFC says, "I don't think his next fight should be in UFC," that's kind of a red flag.
No, there's no chance. No, you really think he was made of a fool on purpose just to make money for?
Yeah, I think they were willing. Yeah, I think they were willing to take his money to capitalize off of any media attention he would get, give him the training, and let him fight, knowing that he wasn't ready. Yes, I do.
He was a huge draw. Did you see the numbers?
I haven't seen the final numbers,
and I'll look them up right now. Yeah. What is he? The buy UFC 103 buy rate? Maybe that would be it. No, he was a huge draw. He more than doubled. Yeah, here we go. According to the Forbes, that's a Boy Meets World joke, by the way. If for those of you got it, pat yourself on the fucking, pat your dick or your chest. Do it because you deserve it, damn it. So yeah, according to Forbes.com, if they'll actually tell me what the fuck. Okay, so according to Mark Raimondi of MMA Fighting, UFC 203 is trending to be a bigger event than UFC 183, Silva versus Diaz. Huge fight. And maybe even UFC 182, John Jones versus Daniel Cormier 1. Heading into it, UFC pay-per-view guru Dave Meltzer. No, he's not. It's not even close. Estimated that the card without Punk would do somewhere between 250 to 300,000 buys. It nearly doubled that. So, not bad, huh? Not bad whatsoever.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, I really don't want to see him fight again because I don't think he has a chance to win, and I think he's just going to get hurt. But, maybe this was the humbling that he needed. I mean, I heard that he's repaired his relationship with Colt Cabana. I'm glad that a lot of the wrestlers supported him.
Yeah,
I think that was pretty cool.
Absolutely.
So, because he had the balls to do something that a lot of them don't. So
no, they would never do that ever. See, yeah, UFC, and here's the exact tweet: UFC 203 with Punk will likely have the most pay-per-view buys by a card without McGregor, Rousey, or Lesnar since UFC 182, and that's in between 650 and 800,000 buys. That's incredible.
Nice. Yeah.
That's definitely for a fake wrestler. Yeah, you're damn right.
And, and I don't think UFC did him any favors. I mean, they definitely, you talk about, a lot of people wonder when Brock fought again, would he be protected, but given an opponent, like Mark Hunt, who they thought he could beat. I mean, CM Punk was not protected. He was put in there against a guy who is a very skilled. I mean, I think Mickey Gall is a superstar in his weight division. and I think he's got a big future in the UFC. So
I do. Well, then again, it was also planning by the UFC, future-proofing themselves. So even if Punk won, who gives a fuck? Because it's a winner. It's a win-win situation with them. If
Right.
Punk wins, fucking roll that hype train down the tracks. If you have Gall kick Punk's ass, that just makes Mickey Gall more marketable.
absolutely, and you still get the buys from people who watch the show.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Mickey Gall is now the person to decimate CM Punk. That's what he's gonna be known for.
Yeah, it's put him over in a way that probably wouldn't have happened otherwise.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That was his coming out party. So TJ Perkins in the CWC, which I'm very.
I was going to say, speaking of that, when do we get to hear about your coming out party? Is that towards the end of the show?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, Sidney Crosby's going to help me actually. TJ Perkins, when he won the CWC tournament and was crowned the champion. I am very, very disappointed to say I didn't watch any match. No, I watched the first one. But all the shit going on, I don't have time to watch 12 hours of wrestling a week. So that was kind of like the proverbial, just I don't give a fuck. But I think I'm gonna go back and watch all the matches. I think it'll be worth it. I mean, tell me if you watch them. Are they worth watching? Tell me which ones to watch, I suppose, or just watch all of them. Because I was really curious.
Yeah, I would say watch the final four.
No, what about
the semifinals and the final matches?
And then Ibushi and Alexander. Those two I heard were very, very good.
Yeah, they were good. I would watch the final four matches. I didn't watch them. I saw GIFs of them. I don't have time. That's just much like you. That's just my reality. So I have to choose what I watch. But maybe at some point I'll get to watch it and. If I do, I definitely saw some clips on Twitter of the match, and it got rave reviews. So I'll definitely hope to be watching in the future.
Yeah, me too. But good for TJ Perkins. He was formerly Manic in TNA. Kind of shocked that he won. I guess here's my guess: Ibushi didn't come to terms with the contract. And so
he didn't. And him and Zack Sabre Jr. Neither of them are signing with WWE.
Yep. And
it's like I mean, they're not going to have guys win that they're not going to keep. Especially when the whole plan was to, put the title on the winner of the tournament, which is what they ended up deciding. So it doesn't, you've got to have a guy who's going to sign, right? So TJ Perkins is really talented. I've been a fan of his for a while. Who would sign him a while ago? They did. I think this is a good spot for him, and I hope everything works out. So I guess we'll see.
Did you happen to see Josh Matthews in his tweet to TJ Perkins? Did you see that?
Oh yeah, I mean that was when that was right before TJ. That was right before he left TNA though.
Oh,
that's an old tweet.
Oh,
yeah. No, right before when he wasn't being used and he was unhappy and things like that. He was making some tweets, and then Josh Matthews sent him that really rude reply. Basically, if you don't like it, hit the bricks is what it amounted to. That's not what he said, but it's basically what he was saying, pretty much ended up getting released not long after that because I'm sure Matthews stooged him off and whatever. And plus, they wanted to keep a mask on this guy. How stupid is TNA has dropped the ball, and this has been a year of failures for TNA. When you look at guys that are NXT champion Samoa Joe, the WWE World Champion AJ Styles, the Cruiserweight Champion TJ Perkins. I mean, it's one fail after another with this fucking company.
Well, duh. I could have told you that one. Well, they are a failure, so Are you surprised? And I'll answer for you. No, you shouldn't be. Last but not no, we have a couple more things here. The Black and Brave Wrestling Academy, which is Seth Rollins' own wrestling academy, had a tragedy take place when a 20-year-old wrestling student died after drills the other day. And it's odd. Unless I missed something, Seth didn't make a response, or he didn't make a comment. Maybe he's kind of trying to ignore it. But I don't. And the autopsy didn't show anything. They're still trying to investigate what actually happened. Maybe he had prior heart trouble or not enough oxygen to the brain. There's a lot of things that could have happened, and we just don't know it. But thoughts and prayers out to the family, friends affected. It sucks. It really does. There's really no way to sugarcoat that.
Yeah, and I think all the rest of the students should pull out of the school before Seth Rollins kills another one.
But he wasn't even. Well, see, I don't know. I can't. I know you're kidding, but I can't take blame. I can't place blame yet. Maybe it was Seth.
You do have to admit the guy's a little bit cursed.
In what way?
Cena, Sting, Balor, now this student at his wrestling school, on and on. And I mean, he's sending dick pics and getting exposed a couple of times. I mean, this guy is. Yeah, I'd almost be afraid to push him at a top level because he's such a fuck up. But I mean, you can't really. In all reality, you can't blame him for this. It's just bad luck. It's just it seems to follow him. So
I know.
But I do want to provide a quote for you because Smith Hart did have an opinion on this. Of course, Brett's
his opinion is so invalid.
And Brett has been an open critic of Seth Rollins, but I want to tell you. Hard to say on this. This is his opinion, not mine. Quote, to the hardcore, diehard internet wrestling community, I must ask, when is enough enough? I know my brother Brett has taken the lead in this topic, but I truly do not feel this is getting enough attention. Seth Rollins is an absolute danger to the business. Reports are coming out that a wrestling student has died while training at Seth Rollins School in Illinois. I have trained students for over 40 years, and my family has trained some of the most well-known superstars of all time for more than 70 years, and never has a student even been seriously injured, let alone died. This is after numerous reports of his unsafe work in the ring. In the last year, Rollins has critically injured in the ring John Cena, Sting, Finn Balor, and even himself. Yet the hardcore audience stand by him as some sort of folk hero. Why? Has limited charisma, limited personality, and absolutely no psychology. Does he do fancy high spots? Yes. Is he a magnificent CrossFit athlete? Absolutely. But he is an absolutely horrible professional wrestler.
Oof.
The goal in professional wrestling is to make it look real without hurting anyone. But Rollins manages to do the opposite, as he makes it look fake while critically injuring talented wrestlers. Take this buckle bomb, which is the cause of many of these injuries. A logical, rational human being would know that it would be physically impossible to shoot that move on anyone, let alone anyone 3 times the size of him, which most professional wrestlers would be. Sorry. Perhaps he should follow his buddy CM Punk into the UFC to try shooting that move onto a Mickey Gall and see what happens.
Wow.
There is zero logic in his moveset, just high spots for the sake of high spots, and it's injuring people, ending careers, and now killing people. I understand that little is known about this death, as it is in the early stages. Likely it was cardiovascular related. But therein lies another issue. Rollins is a fantastic CrossFit athlete that trained for years to have the conditioning that he does. He can't logically expect everyone off the street to have the same conditioning right away, and logically would need to implement a more graduated conditioning system. Why would anyone want to train under someone who has proven to be so reckless? With as many proven qualified wrestling schools and trainers in the world like Lance Storm, Team 3D, Dory Funk, Tom Pritchard, or Booker T, why would you waste your money and your health training under someone who is a higher risk of injuring you than advancing your career? Fans, friends, colleagues, I implore you to band together to boycott anything involving Seth Rollins, as fans deserve better than this, and the talent and students of this business certainly deserve better. To those working in WWE, I implore you to either cease booking this careless fool and or send him somewhere to be trained how to properly wrestle. And finally, to Seth Rollins, if you read this, take consideration of the people you are working with and learn to work safe or give up and find another profession.
I've never taken Smith Hart seriously, so I fucking could care less what he thinks.
Wow. That was brutal.
He's such a I don't even want to talk about him. Smith Hart's a moron. He said something controversial a few years ago. I just don't remember what it was. But he was putting his own fucking foot in his mouth. And what has Smith Hart ever done? Honestly, I think he's like the forgotten Hart brother. So who cares? Who really cares? That's my opinion. Who gives a shit? I have no words. I really don't. All right. Well, you took all the energy out of the room. Thanks a lot, Smith. You idiot. Paige and Emma are coming back, so that's cool, huh? Ugh. I guess all the Paige news was
Yeah.
Thanks, Meltzer. You dick.
Well, no. Okay. So here's the actual deal, right? Is Paige is returning, and she had quit. I mean, she was going to leave with Del Rio, and over the hard time they'd given her, etc. And the problem was, I think I stated this before, was she's in a long-term contract.
She is,
and so she had hired an attorney to try and get out of it. Now I don't know if the attorney said sorry or whatever, but someone gave her some advice apparently that she needed to return. And if she's going to stay in the wrestling business, she really probably did need to at least stay with them for a while. I mean, I think she totally would have killed her career if she left right now. But so she talked to WWE and they worked it out. And so she's going to be returning as soon as she's recovered from her injury. So, and of course, she released a statement basically kind of working everyone. Oh, the rumors are untrue. Of course, I'm returning. I love WWE. Keep in mind, workers are workers, and they always work. And so you can't ever really trust wrestlers when they say stuff like this. So anyway, that's the deal. Paige is returning. Maybe they'll job her out. Who knows? And her boyfriend, Alberto Del Rio, is going to AAA, Lucha Underground, somewhere like that. I know they're all inquiring. TNA wants him. I don't even know how they could afford him. But anyway, we'll see.
Now, what about Paige got a tattoo? And you know what? And I would like to say we're going to hold off on the John Fisher Power Hour for Love until next week because I like to keep people coming back, So keep tuned for that next week. I promise we will do it. But Emma's coming back great. She's going to be great no matter what. She's beautiful. Paige got a tattoo of Alberto. She got a tattoo of Alberto Del Rio under her left tit. And I just want to... figure out what, I just smacked my own head trying to think, what the fuck what's he doing to her, first of all? And what is she thinking? Does she think? I don't think she thinks, because her mom's a fucking psycho, and Del Rio's, in his later 30s. She's 24, right? So she's extremely vulnerable to opinions that are not of her own. I just don't understand what the fuck she's doing with herself.
Yeah, I think Del Rio's 40 now.
40,
and he's on. Yeah, and he's obviously failed the steroid test. I mean, he's on for his. I mean, let's not act like WWE didn't know that when he came back with that physique. I mean, let's just be real. But he's on that, and so I don't know. I guess he's. I don't know. I guess he's still getting it up and slamming it home. So Paige is obviously a fan of his work, so to speak.
I just don't I think she's infatuated with him to the fact that she's blinded by her own stupidity.
Oh, it's totally immature young girl behavior, and the tattoo thing, I think she'll regret. I think it's never a bright idea. Even if you're married, don't even get a tattoo of your spouse. I would never do that. I mean,
no.
I just think it's stupid. So, hopefully she doesn't live to regret that. Otherwise, every time a guy goes to feel her up right on her tit, he's going to see Alberto's name.
Yeah.
Which would just be real great for him. Talk about a boner kill.
And then she's totally ruining what she had. At one point, she was the most over woman on the roster. Now, no one fucking does. I don't want to say no one cares. That's not true. But, what is she doing? Nothing. She's doing nothing, and she's not going to do anything either. Emma coming back doesn't fucking make a difference. I don't know. I really don't. Paige is totally... I don't care about her anymore like I used to. I don't miss her at all. Sad, isn't it?
Oh, I haven't missed her. I think she's just lost all momentum from her career in WWE, and
absolutely,
I have no idea what they're going to do with her at this point.
I don't think anybody does. Seriously, I don't. But... you know what? I know what we're going to do. We're going to say goodbye tonight, and let's find out where you're at on the web, because we all need to tweet at you. We all know that. tweet you, Facebook you, Instagram you, MySpace you, anything that you have ever wanted.
Yeah, absolutely. You can find me running our Twitter account at the VOTB podcast, where you can hear such inspirational tweets as "Roses are red, Harambe's in heaven, Saudi Arabia did 9/11." You're welcome.
You know, because of YouTube's new terms of service, if we have too many, I forget what they called it, suggestive language or offensive playback, then we can't have our videos monetized. Just so you're aware. So now that you have a risk, remember, if we want to make money off of this thing, damn it, which we don't, it's all for the people, always for the people. Then motherfucker, I'll say whatever you want. I know you will anyway.
So what you're telling me is I need to double down on what I'm doing.
Yes. That's exactly what I'm saying. Okay, you can find me at a new Twitter handle, John Fish Gaming. I'm doing less work with wrestling and being more fun. Yeah, I do video games and wrestling. It's a great time. You can still get at me at Wrestling News Hub on Facebook, twitch.tv/JohnFish3 over there. And that's it, really. I think we've really covered everything. SmackDown's great. Raw is not. Paige is an idiot. And Seth Rollins kills people. Is that it?
I think that pretty much covers it.
Does that cover it? I didn't miss anything, did I? I hope not. So for all of you out there listening, drive safely on your own side of the road. Drink some beer. Watch the Steelers this Sunday kick the crap out of the Cincinnati Bengals. And next week, you know, who are the Patriots playing? I'll give some love. What are they doing this Sunday?
They're beating any team they face, and you know, I think, look, after watching them with Jimmy Garoppolo at the helm, you know, and I have to admit, I think he's a good young backup. So it's not necessarily that he's bad. He's not. He's good. He could be a very good, but. Geez, when you're going into Arizona against an elite defense like the Cardinals, man, that's just... I thought they were going to lose, to be honest, and I was very pleased with their performance. You know, their defense is great, and, you know, their offense did pretty good with Garoppolo, and they're at home against Miami. I think they'll beat Miami, and I think, you know, as long as they win at least 2 games of these 4 with Brady out, I think they'll be in good shape.
I can agree. So yeah, watch some football this Sunday, everyone. There's more wrestling coming. We'll have a preview for the Clash of Champions next week. But until then, all of you, as Brad eloquently put, roses are red, violets are gray. Harambe is now in his own grave. Now you should feel bad about it.